Fellas, it's nearly the end of 2020 and I think we can all agree that this year has sucked for most people, except Ninjago fans, because there has literally been no better time to be obsessed with Magical Ninja than right now. So today I thought we'd take a look at Ninjago over the past year of 2020 and discuss whether or not it's had its best year ever. January was an interesting month for Ninjago because we got the Prime Empire sets and the Wave 2 of Legacy. The Legacy sets were honestly incredible in my opinion and included a range of sets from Season 1 to Season 4 of Ninjago. It also marked the first time that we saw the new rebooted designs for the Ninja, which looked absolutely incredible. The standout set for me was the Thunder Raider because it sort of encapsulated what I think Legacy should be, a better and more accurate upgrade from the original version. But fellas, let's not forget that we did also get the best set of the year, Kai's Fire Dragon. I mean look, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against kids, in fact I own several myself, but I think that any 4-year-old would probably agree with me that this is the spawn of Satan. Another great set is the Golden Mech, and one of the main reasons that I really like this set is the knees, and mainly the fact that it has some. See, Lego always seems to have this weird opposition to putting knees in mechs, and I really don't understand why. So believe me, I was over the moon when this set came out because it meant that I didn't have to steal the knees of strangers, I could just use this bad boy. The only downside to the Legacy wave was the minifigures in my opinion, which were pretty mediocre. All things considered though, I think the January wave of Ninjago was pretty great, albeit not as good as Wave 1, but still not bad. Of course, in January we also got the Prime Empire sets, which included some of the most creative and innovative designs for the Ninja that we'd ever seen. The standout set for me was the Gamers Market, which was essentially a £30 pink Zane with 8 more minifigures and a side build, but it was great. I mean seriously, for 9 minifigures with a great side build for only £30, it was an insane deal. But for one reason or another, that's kind of where my love for this season ends. I think it's partly due to the over-colourful sets or possibly the TV show, but I just really didn't like Season 12 of Ninjago. Aside from the dragons, the sets just didn't feel like Ninjago to me, which probably wasn't helped by the fact that the ninjas were dressed like goddamn snowboarders for some reason. I mean, I genuinely just wish that the ninja had worn their avatar attire for the entire show because I think it would have just been so much more interesting. Within this wave, I often found myself not building the sets as Lego intended, but more so building them from instructions on YouTube. Take this for example, which is a mock of Kai's mech jet from Chubbybots. I mean seriously, if a woman sees you holding this, she'll marry you instantly. Season 12 of Ninjago was basically about a computer boy who makes a game. Game goes bad, game eats child, game shuts down, game gets angry. The Mafia tried to get the children inside of the game, the Magic Ninja jump in the game, but the ninja used facts, logic and kindness to get the children back, and everyone's saved. I think the fact that Season 12 wasn't set in the real world kind of killed any sense of tension or real consequences entirely. After all, if any of the ninja wanted to scratch their throats with a shotgun, they'd just respawn anyway. But to be fair, I really did like the aesthetic of this season, as well as the Zane and Pixel subplot, and it really makes me wish that we did get a set with Zane and Pixel in it, but again, Lego just hate money. All in all though, Prime Empire wasn't terrible, it just wasn't great. I'd say it was probably about mid-tier, but it was definitely a really interesting change of pace for the show and the sets. But fellas, in summer 2020, we also got Season 13 sets as well as Wave 3 of Legacy. And genuinely, I mean this 100% truthfully, I would die a happy man after this wave of Ninjago because what more could there possibly be to life than this? The summer wave of Ninjago is just, oh my god. Hands down, the best Legacy set from this wave is of course the Destiny's Bounty, which is just so brilliantly scaled and just looks incredible. And believe me, as somebody who has a morbid preoccupation with my childhood innocence, this set perfectly encapsulates why I'm gonna live with my parents forever. And look, according to Google, I can legally marry this set once it becomes reasonably priced. Alongside the Bounty, we also got the Stormfighter battle as well as the Kai Fighter. The Kai Fighter was particularly disappointing to me once I got it in hand. I don't quite know what I was expecting, but not only is the scaling all out, but it just looks nothing like it does from the show. And it literally only has one play feature in the set, which is this. The wings go back. That's it. But fellas, prepare yourself for the Season 13 sets, okay? Now, I don't think I'd be exaggerating to say that these sets are the best thing since child labour, but I won't. Please, don't swap me. That was a joke. I was joking. One of the things that I absolutely loved, and I really want to see more of, is the overlap between the sets. Most of the sets come with small side builds that are meant to be added to the Skull Dungeon so that you have one huge play piece. Then, the huge play piece is meant to be used to play the board game, the only huge downside to this season. Now, the premise was that each set came with a couple of tiles that would indicate how many places a player could move depending on what they rolled. Each set even came with a dice, as well as a stand that displayed health on it, which is simple enough, right? Well, think again and read this 25-page guide written in Shakespearean English, translated to Greek, written in a font so small that quantum physicists aren't even sure that there's anything on these pages. TLDR, the game's a bit complicated. But aside from that, the sets were absolutely amazing. Another great set is the Firestone mech, which is built perfectly to represent that great scene in the show where he takes a huge shit. I mean, seriously, what's going on with the knees? Now, luckily my local children's charity had a couple of spare knees, but Jesus Christ, that could have been a real deal breaker had it not been for the show. Season 13 of Ninjago is the best Ninjago series alongside Season 4. What are you gonna do? Shoot me? Stab me? The police have been trying that for years. Words can genuinely not describe how incredible this series was. The music, the plot, the pacing all just reignited so much nostalgia that I had from 2012. For a kids show, Season 13 of Ninjago really wasn't afraid to explore the themes of loss, betrayal and death, which often seemed to be sort of a taboo within former seasons, as evidenced by the amount of canonically dead, resurrected characters. It was so nice to see several storylines happen parallel to one another for a change, which really helped to raise the stakes massively, as well as invoke this sense of isolation and finality within the audience. The fact that the episodes were around 11 minutes long meant that we could jump from group to group without it feeling jarring or cut short. And I mean, the music score is genuinely amazing. Not only the underlying score throughout the show, but also the intro music, and I honestly think that the Fold did such a great job on this one. This is why we buy Ninjago sets. I mean, after finishing Season 13 of Ninjago, I had this strange urge to go onto Amazon and just buy every single set that I could. But I think that I would be doing a huge disservice if I didn't mention the fact that Kirby Morrow, the voice actor of Cole, sadly passed away in November. His voice and his brilliance shone through incredibly brightly during this season of Ninjago, and I will never forget his portrayal of the Master of Earth. Thank you. And with that, 2020's done. Thank God. All in all, I'd say that 2020 was probably one of the best years for Ninjago in terms of the show's development and the sets that we got. And with the 2021 sets on the horizon, it just looks like Ninjago's getting even better, and I cannot wait to see what's in store. This is a knife. Look, I'm probably going to get arrested for some of the stuff that I said in this video, so just please subscribe. And hey, if you subscribe, I'll give you, virginity.